I mean, we have so many good series last week. We've got so many good series again today.
Yeah, I remember Clem versus Uthermal on, like, I remember specifically their game on Triton, where it was like Mech versus Bio.
Oh, yeah. That was a good one. Man, we get a lot of good TVTs. There's a lot of people in chat, by the way, who have been discussing on and off. They're like, man, like, I've seen Uthermal Clem too many times. Please not that match. Like, they're like, I've watched it 47 times on Wardy's stream in the last 2 weeks.
How many TVTs do you get to see, chat? Are you kidding me?
I reckon it must be every day on Wardy's stream. It must be, because they're both so good at online cups and stuff.
True. Actually, to be fair, Pig and I are asleep for most of the European stuff.
Yeah, I reckon so.
So they could maybe the Wardy tournament. So to be fair, I'll take it back. You know what, chat? You might have me there, but I'm gonna go check Liquipedia after this.
You're in lobby, right? You're in game?
Yeah.
Cool.
Of course.
Forgot to check.
Of course, mate. No janky Discord capture this time.
Indeed.
On the ball.
Hells yeah. Big thanks to Hizzle for the Twitch Prime sub. Leak Cammy with the host before. I appreciate the support, gang. Much love. I hope you're all remembering to get a bit of fresh air. I went outside. I took Dot outside for the first time in a week. I say I took her outside like she's a dog or something. Not like that. She decided to leave the house with me and was like, holy shit, walking around is good when you've been working from home. You know, sunshine's good and stuff. So get outside, get healthy, just keep yourself safe, you know, away from crowds and everything and away from people.
You can go outside and do stuff, just don't like walk up to people and hug them.
Yeah.
You know, like just walk past people, 1.5 meters, I think is the distance that they want.
Bring your hand sanitizer.
Or bring your people sanitizer, like a belt-fed machine gun. No, kidding. But just be not stupid. You know, all those people at Bondi Beach, if you're Australian, or those dickheads going to Florida spring break, don't be those people. Be smart. It's not about you getting infected. It's about you infecting other people. And even if you do get infected and you will survive it, it will still get you bedridden. It's still a fucking terrible disease.
I've heard some stories from like 21, 22-year-olds who are like super fever-ridden, no pre-existing conditions, but they had like really, really messed up breathing, needed a respirator and stuff. So even though we've heard the symptoms aren't as extreme, what they often mean is the young people don't die from it. So it is still not a lot of information we know about it. But anyways, I hope you guys are enjoying watching and playing StarCraft in this time. I know me and Maynard are enjoying bringing you this action, and we'll bring you some more this same day, same time.
What a bit of action for game one here, Pig.
My God.
Pretty sure I've seen this strategy from Bly before.
Yeah, and yet people still don't scout against him. Up here in the top left, it's Bly looking to raise his edge with a big old Roachmoran and a proxy hatch. And who's he facing, Maynard?
Well, he's facing the not SCV scouting Liquid Clem.
Yeah, apparently not a fan of life. He's just like,
yeah.
Living's overrated.
Yeah. So it's a best of 5. Game 1 doesn't matter.
So I'm going to go out on a limb, guys, and I'm going to keep reinforcing my own ego here by saying the reason Clem is not SCV scouting versus a notoriously cheesy player is because he is afraid of Bly's macro. And he needs that extra 100 minerals from having that SCV at home.
We're doubling down the narrative.
He needs it.
A macro player.
Yeah, he can't win in the macro game. He sees no hatch. He goes, that's fine. He's probably just got a third or a gold. Reaper's looking around. He's like, okay, I should probably build a bunker on the high ground. This may be more serious. Still hasn't canceled the reactor, which is a terrible idea. It's the first thing that goes down. Okay, come on, Clem.
Our SCVs
Clem?
are under attack.
Oh, no. Don't tell me I'm going to have my future talk again.
What number's the big daily?
I have seen Uthermal defend with the reactor one time, but it is really rough. So obviously, no gold base. You know there's roaches coming. The depots get raised. Ooh, first S3V does go down, and the Marine gets into the bunker. Gonna need to get some more SCVs over there. Quick, fast. Marines building 2 at a time. Now, the one thing we need to realize here is those Marines are going to pop on the outside of the wall. So Clem should have cancelled one of those Marines and built it 1 second later to give space, because now what's going to happen is one Marine will pop out on the inside, one will pop out on the outside of the wall, I believe. Oh, he lowers the depot. He realizes. Big brain, Clem.
Nice.
Never doubt. Never doubt.
And, gets a Ravager there. Very nice. Bit of an overextension from Bly. He was doing some cute micro tricks there, turning those hurt roaches into Ravagers where they do pop as a full hit point unit again. And as the Cyclone pops out, Clem could actually hold on here.
Okay, good hold, good hold, good hold. I mean, obviously I had to cancel the command center. Probably should have done that immediately, since it's such a low chance that you get to keep it up. But Barracks needs to get out of there now. Those Biles, of course, going to hit that Barracks as it retreats, needs to repair, but the Cyclone can start to push back these Overlords. The bunker survives. And you know what? The reactor did get, I think, one more Marine out now than there would have been otherwise. So not the worst call.
Bunker trying to get burned down by Bly.
Oh my god, oh my god, you need to repair.
Yeah, the repairs are fine here from Clem. He's doing a great job here. Clem is still up a handful of workers as well. Obviously, this is extremely committed from Bly. It's usually a one base all in. Well, I guess two bases because you technically have another hatchery up there, but you're not mining from it. Ooh. Nearly gets the overlord, but not quite. And this means that with a second cyclone, this is kind of done from Bly because he's not flooding lings or anything. So he pulls back and we're seeing drones in the production tab.
The problem with this hatch is he can't drone it up. Sometimes you can hold on to the position and you can actually use that to get a bit of bonus mining with like a handful of workers. With this hatch,
you like it more if you go to the bottom, like say like the 4 o'clock base, like the one or the 4:30, 5 o'clock base, and
like the bottom right corner. I mean, if he did it there, I think he did it here because he wanted to make sure the CC didn't finish, and he got in as quick as possible. So with this sort of rush, I think every second matters, and I think your priority should always be trying to kill your opponent or do epic damage right there and then. So I'm okay with this version of it. Obviously, if it doesn't work, it looks worse in the follow-up, right? But it's one of those trade-offs where I don't think you can ever say, well, that's the wrong decision from the start. Because you don't do a strategy like this where you're like, well, the plan is for it to fail and then build drones at the expansion. That's like a worst case scenario. So things are bad right now for Bly. He's just going to go Ling speed and look for a Ravager Ling all in follow-up. The problem, of course, as Clem is how do you scout that and figure out what the hell's going on? He just needs to be really careful with his expansions and keep his tanks very far back so that they can't be corrosive biled.
And I love what Clem's doing here. One of the strongest things you can do against a guy going for Roach Ravager is go for one of Pig's favorite units, the Cloak Banshee. So the Cloak Banshee actually doesn't really have an answer for Zerg at this point.
The one scenario where I love a Cloaked Banshee is this sort of scenario. It's the one scenario where I won't shit on it.
If you play Bly, I'm okay with Cloaked Banshees. That is actually a direct quote.
And this is not just versus Bly, this is versus a very cheesy proxy hatch Ravager. Now, with the tanks, you need to put those on the far edges of the Kai ground so that they can't be biled when they get spotted. Clem. That bunker's going to be gone. And this is still scary right now. The Banshee's going across the map as well. It should be coming out here to zone. The Marines are a bit too far out, but Bly pulls the trigger a little bit early because his speedlings aren't quite here. He can't quite wrap around. One tank goes down. Another tank pulling back to the high ground. Drilly Boy's desperately trying to hang on, but Bly cannot get high ground vision. And the Banshees come back. The Drilly Boys buffer, and it's a successful hold.
Yeah, Clem loses 10 SCVs, but he wins the game because there is just nothing at home for Bly. And our team Liquid Terran takes game number 1. Revenge for his teammate, Euthermal. Didn't manage to get a map on Bly.
I'm really, really proud of Clem with the depot lower, by the way. I was like, we've seen this so many times that one of those Marines pops out in a little nook between the barracks and the depot, and then the other one is like, well, I've got no space to pop where the rally point is, so it pops on the outside next to the Ravagers and dies. I love how, I was like, what I do to stop that is I build a Marine, I wait half a second, and then I build the other Marine. So the first one can pop out, and then once it's moved, the other one can pop out. Clem's like, I don't know, like, this is just Ravagers. I can just quickly lower the depot, get the Marines in the bunker, and then raise the depot. Because if the Ravagers run in there anyway, they get surrounded by SCVs. And they get blitzed that way, right? So cool little adaptation and adjustment by Clem. Big brain strats, and does end up holding on there. So, I mean, apparently, if you can hold it without even SCV scouting, you're feeling pretty confident in this series.
Dude, that's not meant to happen, but there's been a couple things today where we're like, that's not meant to succeed. You know, like the Denver 10 Roach Ling Rush against, you know, a quick third base Euthermal. Just stuff like that's not meant to work. And yet, here we are. Oh, no, maybe it was Clem, actually. Excuse me.
Well, I mean, this is the great thing about StarCraft, right? That's why we should always try to not be reductionist in our thinking. It's like, oh, that counters that. That doesn't work against that. It's
that
like
actually does tilt me a little bit was when I hear people say, oh, it's 100% this, 100% that, or it's 100% over. You know, that's just something that doesn't exist in this game.
Sorry, I've just got a quick, this just in, guys, news report. Maynard, a big fan of No Regrets commentary.
Yes. Massive fan. No, it's actually a very common thing for like people that are really good at the game to see like a Hellion die and go, oh shit, it's 100% over.
It's pretty bad. Yeah. You kind of see, because you realize how big the momentum shifts are, especially when you're playing against someone who's like better than you, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And it's cool because it brings excitement to the details, but it always has to be tempered down a little bit with some reality, right? Speaking of a bit of a dose of reality there, Bly, perfect opening situation, low ground CC, no scout, but the opening was just so smooth and flawless with that extra 100 minerals from the SCV not scouting, I guess, that he was defended. We'll see what he brings out in map 2. Raise your edges, Bly.
And in the bottom right from Team Liquid, currently up in the series, it is Clem. Clement. Raise your baguettes if you got that O Gaming sub.
Big brain point from Real Lil Petit in chat says, why not take the island base? I actually think that would have been a good idea in that scenario. Would have been super safe. Keep your tanks, cyclones on the high ground. Banshees go across to harass. Obviously, there could be fast mutas just because you're playing Bly, but I mean, they're not going to be that fast, right? So that would actually be really cool if Clem took the island. I'm sure it's something that is just not even on his radar. Like, it's not even there in his decision-making tree on that map. That island does not exist as far as Clem's concerned because it's such a weird situation to understand and map out how to both take the island and secure it against things like mutas, Nidus worms. You take that, you build an orbital, you're like, cool, this is great. And like your opponent drops 8 Zerglings there and you like lose all your SCVs. So, it's a weird thing that can be amazing, but it's only for such a small percentage of your games that someone like Clem is probably like, it's not even worth my time practicing that because it's one map that often gets vetoed of the 3 matchups that I play, and it's only going to be in the map pool for so long. So who knows? Maybe we'll see some players work it in, but outside of rough stream, I would not hold your breath.
Well, I mean, we did see Vindicta take it in this tournament a couple weeks back.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was actually Bly who was playing on this.
That does make sense. It's a good anti-Bly reaction. Definitely seen Protoss players take it against Zerg as well, where if you're going for like a Glaive Adept harass, hey, drop off a probe and take a nice corner base, very well protected.
Ooh, he gets that drone, but not quite.
Why an Evo chamber
there? Yeah.
I mean, it costs the same money as a Spore. It's just kind of funny. Maybe you just clicked the wrong button. All right, Reaper being annoying as usual. Oh, he gets it. He gets it.
Oh, the jukes. Not quite.
So there's a cool thing there because the Lings are forcing you to move so much. Often the Reaper only gets to fire one of its attacks before it starts moving again. So it doesn't actually get to complete. So you might be like, hey, it attacked that tumor 2 or 3 times. Why did it not die? It was actually only one of its 2 attacks each time it attacked. As confusing as that sounds, a little bit of a mind screw, but it's the same thing. Like if you keep target firing with a Thor and changing targets, it'll often only fire one gun and it won't get to fire the other. Any unit that has 2 attacks. Same with a Zealot. If you're trying to move shoot with a Zealot, it might only get 1 swipe with one of its blades off. So Marauders I think Marauders, I'm not sure if they split their attacks ever. Like I feel like they both shoot at the same time, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, very early Roach Warren from Bly again. And once again, just like kind of like on Simulacrum against Euthermal, it's one of those things that he could Roach Rush, but he will very likely just drone. Especially after seeing like the natural being secured here for the most part.
He's 100% going to go 8 Ravages now that you said that, Maynard. Like,
yeah.
Thank you.
I'm not. He doesn't need to make any Overlords here because he's got plenty of supply to work with. So
definitely preparing for it, I guess. The Overlord will see Cloak Banshees on the way, though, which is the one thing Bly hates to see when he's doing this. And it's why every player opens Cloak Banshee against him every single game. So he might not commit to it. He might even just mass Speedlings and go for broke. And I think it's not a bad choice. So, I mean, Clem's already up 1 game. And Clem is such a mechanically apt player. There's this weird thing when you go for attacks like this. I mean, we saw it in the series against Denver. Players like Clem, they have like this Maru-esque ability to where you're like, oh, my build beats your build. And then they just like micro their Marines and their bunker and their SCVs and like they kill your attack. And you're like, what the fuck? You meant to have a tank to stop this.
Like for instance, like that's a very Maru thing. Like he was the Terran that I remember watching in GSL last year where he would actually 1v1 an Adept with a Reaper and win. Like that's not meant to ever happen ever. Like the Reaper is especially designed to die to the Adept.
Indeed. And Overlord's having a good perv over in Clem's base. Only 1 Marine there to get rid of them. He's got a bunker for safety as well. and the Banshee out. I really like this
that.
play by
Yeah.
Clem. He's just
I like that a
playing
lot.
real safe play, yeah. The Banshee's going to go home as well. So he's actually looking for a Nidus Worm right now with that Banshee in the main. Very nice.
It's so rare. Like I feel like the highest of highest level Terrans really just are the very few Terrans that want to adjust what they're doing based on what they're seeing. They're like, I'm going to play this player rather than the matchup. You know what I mean? Like he's going to be like, I know Bly, and I know that there is a chance for Roach Rush. It's only a bunker. I can salvage that. But just in case, I have a fallback. Like he's thinking about how he can lose to Bly right now. Like, what has he got? He's got Roaches. Could there be a giant surge of like a dozen more Roach Ravager? Yes, there could be. So let's get that bunker up. We've got tanks on the way, and even if nothing shows up, it doesn't really upset the build too much. So small but cool detail. Hellions to the main. Damn.
Oh, hot diddly damn. Hot diddly damn.
That's a lot of intros.
Oh my god. Yeah. That's a lot of mining time as well. Even just doing this little rotate dance. I mean, there's no creep between the main and natural. The Roach is taking forever to get up here. And this doesn't cost Clem anything. You know, another Terran. It's like missing a little bit of macro by driving those Hellions in circles. Not Clem. He's chilled. His minerals never go above 300. He's like, no. I am bloody fast at this game. Clem is good at StarCraft,
450 APM, as you said that. Just switched over on the bottom side there. Just a casual 450 APM.
Jeebus.
It's floating around 350, 450.
It's a quick swap into Ling Bane. No range upgrades this time around. Bane speed 1-1 on the way. It's the delayed creep spread. You know, the real creep inhibitor has been Clem's playstyle this game. Is just slowing it down. There's one little prong in the middle. But that looks, I mean, that's a little bit reminiscent of Juice Bigelow right now. Spaghetti thin, that creep spread.
Won't even touch the walls. Yeah, the Roaches get on top of that drop for Clem, which is nice. Yeah, Clem wanted to hit right on 1-1 with Combat Shield, which he was just about to, by the way. And Bly seemed to be all over that medevac at least.
Oh, drives into the Spore.
Yeah, unfortunate.
But, I mean, these Banshees have done a good job. Does end up losing them, but I mean, he's at the point where he's at 3 base onwards. Second factory coming down at a nice timing here. So Clem seems to have a good idea of the fact that it's a swap into Ling Bane. Is going to go for, of course, Widow Mines accordingly.
All right, a little worry for Clem there as the medevacs were sort of playing catch up with those Marines that really wanted to get into the Zerg mineral line there.
Yeah.
Do you think Clem goes double tank here, or does he throw in Drilling Claw? Oh, okay. That answers.
Yeah,
I wasn't fast enough on my question.
I think tanks are good for the first push, especially since there's Ravagers out. But I would not be surprised to see Thors produced off that in a little while, and of course the reactor building on the second factory. So definitely will be Widow Mines as this game drags on. I mean, the longer you stay on bio tank, the more awkward the game gets. You're just not flexible enough as a Terran player. And oh my god, there's not many Banes, but he doesn't get to focus them in time. The tanks get wrecked.
They do, and is there enough bio to actually fight back? There's not that many Roaches here, and the Ravagers do fold quite quickly to Marines. There's some more Banelings here for Bly.
Roach speed isn't ready. This is actually really hurting his maneuverability right now. Still 30 seconds off Roach speed. A bit of a misstep there from Bly for getting that upgrade. And, oh man, he's going to lose the fourth. 3 base Ling Bane Zerg is about as shitty as you can get. Up against a Terran on 3 base, I mean, the Terran's much happier to chill.
Absolutely. Lifts up those medevacs, gets all those Marines out of there. All those Marines are about to have 2-2 upgrades in a few minutes here as well. Keep that in mind. Drilling Claws is a great addition here for Clem. Obviously, they have limited use against Roach Ravager, but the Ling Bane is the part that really hurts Clem. And if he starts just going a lot of bio and the bio doesn't die, you can absolutely start to trade well against Roach Ravager.
I mean, this is insane. I remember watching Bly up against Terrans in some points in Legacy and late HOTS, where he was just struggling because he could not keep up mechanically. And I kind of am getting a glimpse of that here, where it feels like obviously Clem is reacting well and giving himself momentum, and that's probably the main part of it. But it just feels like Clem is a little bit faster and quicker with this micro. He seems happy to kind of stand on the edge of a pack of Banelings, and he doesn't blink. He just kind of, doesn't even hold his breath. Picks up at the last moment, but it's just so natural.
Second, fourth cancel here. Bly still on third bases. Clem will not let him get a fourth base for the fight, or a fourth base at all in this case. And Clem is actually just looking incredible right now. Double upgrades at the moment as well with 2-2 finished up. Zerg's 2-2 is playing catch up at the moment. And look at that creep spread denial as well. That creep spread of Bly, 2 active creep tumors, Pig. 2.
Yeah, that's rather pathetic right now. This Baneling run by might find the money. Obviously, another denial on the 4th will happen. Banelings come in. The Drilly Boys have nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Yet Clem splits.
What mines?
Oh my god, get the Banelings on the mines! Oh! The mines able to evacuate there. A little bit of a lag spike. I don't know who that was. But yeah.
No
Widow mines tanks.
dropped. No frames dropped. I'm good. I'm clean.
It's us. We're fine. It's not us. I mean, Ravager's coming forward, trying to pick it off from afar, but oh god, this kill zone. The medevac standing over their head, giving the finger out the window. The tanks, the mines.
Yeah, she's like, stick this in the pipe, 555.
Oh my god, sorry guys, terrible observing. Maynard's making me laugh. Clem is just getting me excited with his micro. And yeah, is he even gonna try to save the tank? Doesn't quite get it out.
There. Oh, that Widow mine connects to the links very nicely there. The Marines have unloaded. This is what I'm talking about. You still keep those Marines alive. You can actually engage those Ravagers.
Yep. 2 Reddit point ones looking very juicy right now. One of them goes down on the retreat, trying to drop those corrosive biles, but these Marines can dance all day. They can dance all day! And I'm still getting headshots!
It's still happening. And Clem is making so many Marines, 10 Marines at once. Liberators is about to be thrown in. He's throwing in Marauders as well. Now the Marauders are here. That makes things rough for Bly, who's still on Lingbane Ravager.
Oh my god.
Run through this front door, I think, and I think this might be it right here, Big.
Fix bayonets and charge, because you know you run faster with your knife out. I feel like that was an army of FPS dogs who were watching right there as Clem steamrolls his way to a 2-0 advantage in this best of 5. GG's. When I get excited, I rock back and forth in my chair and wiggle around.
Yeah.
And my headphones like fall off my head and stuff. It's like I always know I'm overexcited when my headphones like slide off my head at some point while I'm shouting.
I'm excited. Well, it has been a pretty action-packed final, but unfortunately it's been a one-sided one in a little bit. It's been old Clem.
Yeah, he's so fast. Looks so relaxed and natural in these games, which is just so good to see. The next lobby is up. Let's see, what map are we going into? So we had Golden Wall. Wait, was it Golden Wall first game?
Nope.
No,
I think
that was the previous series, sorry.
Simulacrum, I think.
Simulacrum, and then we had that one, Nightshade, and now Everdream. So these ones have stuck to a bit more of a standard / last season pool. Everdream's a big map. This is a big map. This is the one where we saw Clem with the sick biomine just charging all over the map, smashing run-bys with like just a couple of tanks and Widow mines spread around his bases and just pushing all over the map with biomine Thor against Lingbane Muta. So that was a scary game. I'm not sure if Bly was watching it or not, but if he was, I think he's going to probably once again look for something special here. I think going head-to-head in a macro game against Clem is very scary.
Yeah, I mean, even getting to the mid-game against Clem seems very scary as well when he gets those medevacs out there. He really seems to make, I mean, obviously Roach speed wasn't there for Bly, but he seems to make that army look very impotent when he's just everywhere at once. He's like, oh, well, the mobility for this army is not great, so I'm gonna abuse mobility here.
Wait, do Marauders only have one attack again?
Yes.
They reverted that?
Yeah, like
I thought they still had that.
No, years ago they.
This is like stop touching my StarCraft. They've changed too many things too many times. I can't even remember what's in the game.
Remember when Ultralisks would just fucking ruffle stomp everything because they had 8 armor and Marauders had that 2-shot attack?
Oh right, the change was they put it back to 1 attack.
Yes.
That's the change.
And also they took an armor point off the Ultra.
I thought it was the other way around for some reason.
Twitch TV X5_pig. Maynard's got you through the power of Discord. Not Discord, we're on Zoom. Oh, nearly got it.
No, yeah, you guys can tell by the uninterrupted audio and the facts that we're witnessing some more dirty plays. It's game 3 of a potential best of 5, but it might end right here, right now. He obviously thinks, hey, my opponent's not respecting me. He's not going to scout. I'm going to make it work this time. Up here in the top right, in the red, he's Bly.
And he's going for the proxy hatch. This time he can mine from it, and it's going to be against this young Frenchman down here. Unlike most, he does not surrender. His name is Liquid's Clem.
And he is indeed French. Saw someone in chat asking.
Yep.
Clement.
Clement, or as I like to say, Clement.
Clement.
It's important for French to speak out of your nose.
Baguette.
exactly.
I love how there's like stereotypical accents that almost no one from that country actually has. Like whenever you hear like an American comedy,
sound like that.
Yeah, like American comedy German accent.
Yeah.
Like every German sounds like this. And like I remember the first time I actually met a German who sounded like that, and I almost died laughing. I was like, wait, there actually are some people who sound like they're very rare. But occasionally you meet one and you're like, oh my God, he's like a cartoon German.
I had a friend talk to me about the Swedish beat, and I'm like, what's the Swedish beat? And he goes, I'm already destroying myself here, but you know how Swedish, when Swedish people speak Swedish, they have this sort of like beat to how they speak.
It's a bit like up and down, right? Like a little
up and down, up and down, up and down. Yeah. So my friend would just go like that, and I'm like, oh my God. And then you talk to Swedish people. You see Swedish people talk to each other, or even when they speak English to you, that is there. It's not as pronounced as extreme as like my mate put it, but it's definitely there.
Well, yeah, they actually do have a bit of a.
They have an up and down sort of bouncy sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. The Reaper stays at home this time because Clem did scout. SCV goes down in the bunker, quickly gets another SCV down here. Will he get it up in time? Those roaches just starting. Yeah, he will. It's a very fast bunker.
Yeah,
and
once again.
I actually think this is like the best way to crush this. Even though the bunkers on the low ground is risky, and I'd love to see a backup bunker on the high ground. He doesn't need it for a while because it's not until your opponent hits like 5 or 6 Ravages that they can really just bust the bunker. So I really love this, and no second gas just yet, but you don't need it because you've got the bunker. You know you're going to lose a lot of SCVs repairing down here. You just got to pull more SCVs now, and you got to get the repairs on.
SCV's a little bit late here. It's only 3 roaches, but actually just 2 of them firing because one of them's turning into a Ravager.
Oh, he clicks it.
He got it.
Nicely done.
Bly is being deflected so far. Clem's just trying to buy time for that Tech Lab factory. And he's not getting the reactor on the barracks, so his reaction this time is even more solid than on... oh, no, it wasn't Game 1 was on Simulacrum. It was on fucking Purity and Industry. What am I talking about?
Yeah, Purity. Sorry, I'm dumb as well. But the Marine count, already having 3 Marines and a Reaper. This is sick. And look at that. The Reaper's just like, hey, come snipe me, bro. Not enough SCVs to repair. The backup bunker on the low ground, on the high ground, very late here. Has Clem underestimated? Oh, no. And this is the problem with the low ground bunker, and especially with the high ground bunker being so late. Uh-oh. The Cyclone's got a lot of heavy lifting to do. It's just Drilly Boys and a Cyclone.
Well, good news for Clem here is that the factory is actually out of range of these Ravagers. Now they're in, so obviously they can start flooding on and doing damage, but the Cyclone's being microed back by Clem, keeping out of range, keeping that lock on. He's trying to get that one Ravager. It pulls out a lock on range, though. Clem's lost 10 SCVs. He can afford to lose a little bit more as he does have that low ground command center.
Oh, that Cyclone trying to finish off the Roach. It doesn't quite get it. Oh no. And the Cyclone's done. It's done.
It's stuck, yeah. Oh my God, Bly's strats here. Clem, I think, just got a little bit lazy with it. Not quite there with the SCVs on the repair on the bunker, and that's all it took for Bly to try and find that angle. The SCVs and the mules actually pulling back into the natural, trying to keep them alive, but 4 Ravagers in his main base in the natural with 1 Roach as well.
Oh,
and
man.
Cyclone stuck on the outside. It's like a dog locked out the front yard.
Yeah, I mean, he can yap all he wants. He can bark at the Overlord mailman. It's not going to get anything done, mate. This was Clem being way too greedy. I was like, okay, like low ground bunker. I was like, you can kind of make it work. The problem is you have to use it just to secure the expansion, and then you get the fudge out of there to the high ground. Or you pull a crazy amount of SCVs to keep repairing it. But the problem is your SCVs are easy targets. So... I mean, he got his command center finished, right? I think he could have kept that up. So the thing is, if at this point, 3 minutes 17, if he quickly abandoned, maybe he could have got to the high ground, but just a bit too greedy there from Clem. And I mean, it's good to see that he can't just totally disrespect the build and still win. I guess he SCV scouted that game. Does change things, but bunker on the low ground's incredibly greedy.
Indeed. I thought he had it, man. Just a few, like, imagine 3 or 4 more SCVs down that low ground to be able to repair that bunker. It's an easy hold, I feel. Feels bad, man.
Last caster into the lobby, as always. You know, we always talk about how Maynard likes to arrive to things on time and conveniently forget that pigs almost always last. But you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way, guys. Some people live in a bubble where they get things handed to them. I embrace my bubble, you know? I embrace zero responsibility. I enjoy this time of self-isolation where I can sit at home and have even less responsibility than normal because I don't need to leave my house. It's amazing.
All right. That is true. It's very convenient that the other commentators are so fixated on the fact that whether or not I'm late, that they ignore the fact that you've been late the last 6 events.
Denver said without the T, it's perfect pronunciation. Clement.
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 But without the T. So not Clement, it's Clement.
Thank you for hanging out, Denver. By the way, Denver, if you are still watching in chat, I know there's a couple minutes delay by the time you see this, but I'll keep my eye on chat. Let us know if you don't mind answering on Eternal Empire. We were thinking if you'd grouped up your attack a bit more, you should have been able to break that 3cc into 2-1-1 build from Clem. But obviously, he kind of isolated your units and fought them a few at a time and did a really lovely, lovely engagement. Do you think if you grouped that attack up and executed better, you could have broken? Or let us know. Very curious. Because I've never seen that matchup of builds, especially on such a big map like Eternal Empire, where it's quite hard to get over there. But anyways, we are into Game 4. We got a series on our hands. I'm hoping we get that Game 5. Up here in the top left, representing Raise Your Edge Gaming, it is Bly on Fire.
Certainly is. And in the bottom right here, in the blue, Team Liquid's Clem. He is on brand here with the Team Liquid Blue.
Big thank you to Logic for the big old 47-month resub, as well as Jaheza, who likes to sizzle my fizzle. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate you hanging out in the pigsty. It's a good place in these times where everything's about hygiene. It's good to take a break and roll around in the pigsty, eat some slosh, some mud, moderate some mud, make some dick jokes, and generally hang out and be very professional here commentating the EPT ESL Pro Tour StarCraft 2 America's Weekly Cup.
That's right. And shout out to all you guys out there in my chat as well. You guys have been wonderful. It's been a wonderful chat. You guys have been very supportive as well. It's been awesome to see. My chat is known as the horniest place on Twitch, literally. So
it's not a Chad's chat. It's your Maynard's harem. You know, when you guys sub to Maynard, he says main army, but what he means is welcome to my harem of virgins.
Yeah, everyone that clicks on my stream puts their keys in the ball as they walk into the house. This is a swingers club over here at Twitch TV Maynard, and we let our freak flags fly here, Twitch TV Maynard. So thank you very guys for being out there and just being cool in general. Everyone's just no judgment. It's all fun and games.
I like that Clem is playing respectful at this point. Sends a Drilly Boy Scout one more time. He's like, yeah, all right, buddy. Which I find weird since he held it in game 1, and then he scouted, and then he didn't hold it. I thought he might go back to no scout, you know? Do the full disrespect version, but I guess not. Reaper is going to go across the map here. CC on the low ground, Marine coming out. Bly never goes Overlord speed, but loves his Pervy Lord above the natural, so he can figure out when the Hellions are leaving and when they're at home defending. Bly is someone always keeping an eye out for those Ling run bys. He doesn't often get to do a big one, just a couple of Lings poke in here or there, but he's always got his eyes on it. And I think a lot of us people kind of don't realize that. It's like, why aren't they being more aggressive with their Hellions? It's like, because they know he's watching with that Overlord, and if the Hellions aren't defending, he will find his way in there and kill a bunch of SCVs, and that's something the players really have to watch out for.
And the Reaper just sort of dancing on the outside here. Clem really loves that creep tumor pick off, and this time he gets it. Game 4 finally picks off that creep tumor.
Big update from Denver, by the way. He says, I don't actually think I could have broken him. I think that 3cc version is safe against early aggression because they just get so many Marines and stim out so quickly. Thank you very much. True. Appreciate that. Good to know.
Mercy, mon ami.
Yeah, I was kind of on the fence with it. I was like,
creep tumor kill again.
Yeah, that Reaper is 100%. Every time he turns his back on the Lings and the Queen, the finger's up over the shoulder, the middle finger, and he's like, suck it, Zerg.
Yeah, the Reaper holds 2 pistols, but he threw them back down on the ground like a mic drop, like from like shoulder height, and then gave him the double bird.
It's a video game. New guns materialize in his holsters anyway. Every time he does,
down, you just get 2 more guns.
That's how he reloads. Notice how they never pause in shooting sometimes. Like if they're just sitting at hatchery, like don't they reload? It's like oh no. He just like chucks them on the ground and pulls new ones out. It's either that or maybe it's like the Lara Croft, you know, like Tomb Raider, where she just kind of like she's got clips lined up on her belt, and then she just kind of slams the handguns down onto them, and they're like,
dude. I remember playing that as a kid and just being like, oh, you actually just never run out of bullets. This is insane.
Well, I remember the Angelina Jolie. She had to at least like kind of slam the pistols down on her like belt, and it somehow.
So
which anyone who's ever loaded a handgun before knows this. I doubt you could make this actually work, but she'd basically slam it down onto the clips, and they would automatically like slide into the gun, and she'd just start shooting again. Yeah.
If the angle's right, I think you can. But
it'd be weird because they'd have to be facing out from the body a little bit. Yeah.
Nidus, the butthole. It's on the way here.
Ooh, how cheeky out of 10 would you say is this Nidus, this cheeky butthole? How cheeky
I'd
is it?
say it's 11.
11. Yeah, it's pretty cheeky. Now, as Clem, what safety do we have? There is a reactor building on the factory. Oh no. Then there's a Banshee building, but the problem is, I mean, the way Euthermal held this was spotting it. Oh, SCV's coming. He's going to get some warning, but it's still so far. A Marine is there. A Banshee is coming. The Drilly Boys are too late.
Yeah, Drilly Boys are too late, so this thing is going to unload some roaches here. Actually, I think the Lings are first in the queue.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Oh, that's the roach.
Actually, yeah, it does manage to take it down. Nicely done. Into the natural.
Yeah, Bly is going to be spamming Nidus Worms here, so Clem has to stay at home with all of his units. Can't really send anything out. Banshees need to be used to DPS down these high-armored Nidus Worm burrowing heads. Which looks like they might just die to the Drilly Boy combination with the Hellions here. Bly wasting a few units there. They're not going to get anything done.
Bly's got to fix the order with which he's loading into these Nidus Worms. We saw it earlier against Euthermal as well. It's never Queens popping out first. The way it works is the first units you load in are the first units to pop out, similar to an intestine system. You know?
Very similar.
It's very rare that...
System, the first nugget needs to come out before the next nugget. They are in queue and there is no passing one to the other.
It's very rare that you get one thing passing another. Yeah, I mean, it's unless you're eating like a set of keys or something weird that doesn't come out too well, you know, shit don't work like that.
I don't know, man. I see these queens. They're about to pop out of this Nidus Worm. That can't be comfortable.
Yeah, definitely squeezing out of her.
Rigid they are.
Yeah. Gonna have a stretch as they get out of there, and then they go, hey, no energy for you, buddy. These Banshees really committing. Not even gonna use a transfuse on it.
Oh, no.
Oh my god.
Clem loses his Banshees. That was his only way to shut down this Nidus Worm. He wants to keep everything knocked into his natural here. Lifts up the third base to let the roaches on in.
Get in that bunker.
Wants that tank to fire on.
Those Marines need to get in that bunker right now. Stim is done. He's got a lot of firepower. I mean, the thing is, even though, yeah, some damage is being done now, this is an all-in Bly against a Clem who is up to 19 Stim Marines. He's got a second siege tank popping. That Nidus Worm, you know, they keep popping and then dying immediately. The Overseer goes down. I mean, Bly's on all in. And remember, if Clem holds this, he wins. He scans the third and is like, yeah, no drones. I am never leaving my base, dude.
Yep. Bly's sending in some... okay, the Changelings nearly got past that front line there, but Bly lost his Overseer, so we actually can't spam Nidus Worms into the main base very easily at all. In fact, Clem is patrolling a Viking to make sure that that's not a possibility. Because that's one of the strongest things you can do when you're a Nidus boy, is have the Nidus Worm saying, hey, I'm over here, and then the Nidus pops up in your main, and that's where the Lings, Roaches, and Queens pop out and just murderize you.
Oh, how many times have Dark and Rogue looked like they were losing a game, and it's like the 17th Nidus Worm that gets the Swarm Host into the Protoss' base, like in the back of their main, when their army's on the map, and they're like, oh, kill 2 Nexus. And you're like, oh, okay, that, yeah.
All right, I guess you're world champion.
Shit.
Yeah.
I honestly, I mean, I think it was actually Dark versus Rogue in a ZVZ and GSL last year, where there was like 300 Nidus Worms they were just throwing at each other, and I was like, what am I watching right now? It was actually insane. Like, whoever was attacking with the Nidus Worms would basically get further and further behind, and then just have a Nidus that would hit, and they would get massive damage, and you're like, what the hell? It's the 13th Nidus Worm does big damage after 12 fail.
Yeah. This creep trimmer for Bly and the natural is so annoying, by the way. So one active creep trimmer right on the edge there, and he's spreading it into the Terran's mineral line. The problem for Bly is that it obviously didn't do anywhere near as much damage as he wanted to, and Clem this whole time has not stopped building Marines, tanks, and upgrades. He's about to have 1-1 stim and combat shield. He's got several medevacs here. He's got several tanks. He's even got Hellbat's Pig, and this push is going to be deadly.
+2 started literally the second +1 finished. Like, just insane. Slow Banelings. Oh my god, he's going to burrow. They're not in position, though. I think they're too far north. Are they? Ooh, juicy. Not bad.
I mean, that's something, but there's still a lot more army where that came from.
The Burrowed Bane's a good comeback maneuver here. It's going to start off this defense somewhat. He's got Roach Speed. His 1-1 upgrades. He's got to buy 20 seconds. Bly cannot fight for at least 20 seconds. Another 40 seconds until Baneling Speed is ready. More Lings, more Banes on the way. The problem right now is the fact that he can't actually isolate this army. Clem's like, you know what? I don't even need to force the issue. Let's rotate to a new angle. Starts +2 armor. More Marines and tanks coming across this map. And the only thing Clem has to do is not overextend.
He's done a great job of splitting against the Biles. For the most part, loses a hell out there. He's got this lovely choke point, which Taran would love for Zerg to come inside of it. Come into my parlor, he says.
Yep.
This is a meat grinder.
The door's wedged open. The sign says, valuables inside. Please come deeper to get $5,000 handed to you. Just walk into this stranger's home. Walk in.
This run by looks pretty nice for Bly. The units of Clem out of position, so the SCV's getting pulled and a few of them will die. But that fourth hatchery also is dead. Bly has Baneling speed, but Clem has got so many Marines.
Oh, the Banelings can't get through. The Ravagers actually filtered them, so they came through only a few at a time.
Oh no. Bly, he just folds there to the huge DPS army of Clem's stemmed bio with their 1-1 upgrades. Up that ramp, no problems whatsoever. And Clem is your back-to-back weekly North American champion.
That was powerful, man. Dude, Clem is on a killing spree.
Killing spree.
That's way too loud. Sorry, guys. I won't do that again. Apologies to any headphone users. I forgot I cranked up Maynard, and that comes through the same sound source. Bad production.
Did you fire off a sound file?
I just fired off a killing spree, which is already very loud, and I've boosted it a lot to make your volume even with mine today. And GG, sorry guys. 2 minutes from now is going to be a lot of rees in chat. I apologize for that, but what an incredible finals. That was sick.
That was pretty awesome, man. It's so cool to see Clem continuing to keep that level of consistency, really. Like getting to that final, not only getting there, but also winning it again. And in a different matchup, too. It wasn't like he had TVT. It's not like he's a TVT sniper and he rolled TVT the whole way down. It was multiple matchups for Clem. Mainly TVZ, but TVZ is my favorite matchup in the video game. And it was my favorite kind of TVZ as well, where it was like bio tank against Ling Bane, Roach Ravager, or Ling Bane Muter in some cases. Just my favorite stuff.
Hells yeah.